Shanti. Avyakt Bab Dada Murli. Murli date 23rd July 2023. Original date 16th March 1995. The sign of souls who are full of all attainments is that they are content and happy. Today, Bab Dada, the one who enables you to attain all attainments, is saying his children everywhere who are full of all attainments. You are the children of the full and perfect Father, the bestower of all attainments. And so, Baba has given each child the inheritance of all attainments. It is not that he has given someone 10% or someone else 20%. He has given all the children the right to all attainments. All the children have a right to the full inheritance. So, Bab Dada is saying to what extent every child who has a right to all attainments has claimed that right. The Father has given everything. The Father is called the Almighty Authority, the one with all powers and the full ocean. However, to what extent have you children made all of those attainments your own? When you make the inheritance given by the Father belong to you, you have the intoxication and happiness that they are your treasures to the extent that you make them your own. They are given by the Father, but you have made them your own by imbibing them. So, what did Bab Dada say? That you become number wise in making them your own. The Father has created numbers, but instilling them in yourselves according to your own capacity has made you number wise. What are the signs of souls who have all rights and are full of all attainments, who stay in the intoxication and experience of all attainments from Amrit Vela until night time? The sign of having attainments is contentment. Such souls are constantly jewels of contentment and spread the sparkle and vibrations of contentment to others. Their faces will be constantly happy. Prasannachit. To be happy means to be free from all types of question. Prashnachit. They will not have any questions. They will be happy. Why, what, how? All these questions have finished. So, have you become happy to this extent, or do you still sometimes have some questions? What is this? Why is this like that? How will this happen? When will it happen? Do these questions arise, whether in your own mind or through others? Are you an embodiment of questions or an embodiment of happiness? Or are you sometimes an embodiment of questions and sometimes an embodiment of contentment? What are you? Generally, it is remembered that nothing is lacking in the treasure store of Brahmins. Whose praise is this? Which Brahmins does this praise belong to? Does it belong to you? Or of those who are yet to come? You are these. So, when there is a lack of attainment, this lack of attainment is a reason for discontentment. Look at your own experience. Whenever your mind is discontented, what is the reason for that? It is because you feel a lack of something or other that you feel discontented. There is a praise that nothing is lacking. Is this the praise of the present time or of the time of destruction? Will you become complete at the time of destruction, or are you going to become complete now? Those of you who think that you remain constantly satisfied, that no matter whether in relation to you or to others, you do not have any questions, that you are always contented. How many such contented souls would there be? There are many. Acha. Those who think that you are always contented, no matter how much Maya makes you fluctuate, you will not fluctuate but will make Maya fluctuate. That Maya may salute you, that you are Angad, that Maya may be defeated and you are victorious. Those who are like this, raise your hands. Always remember the word constantly. You are not those who are like this, only sometimes. There are very few of you. There are only a few out of multi-millions. However, there are question marks. Are there not? The question mark should be removed from your dictionary. Let there not be any fluctuation. When you use a computer, this comes up. Does it not? When you see the computer of your intellect, you should always be able to put a full stop. Let the symbols for a question mark and an exclamation mark finish for all time. This is known as being constantly happy. Those who are happy in this way will finish the question marks of others. Otherwise, if there are question marks in yourself, then whenever you hear something or see something, you would say, "That should not happen," but it does happen. I too think that this should not happen. In this way, you mix in others. This makes you underline their questions. You give them your support and then you say, "This is not right," but it does happen. So, you did not make the other person happy, but you actually increase their questions. You added to them. It was a question of only one person, and it then became questions of two. Then from two it becomes questions of four people. So the vibrations of having questions spread much more quickly than the vibrations of being happy. You say, "Yes, it is like this." So you give others your support in this way. You use an exclamation mark. Therefore, this is not a full stop. When it is for yourself, "I should not be doing this. I should receive this. Others should not have this." This wanting fills you with questions and doesn't allow you to remain happy. So, what is everyone's aim? To be contented and happy. The speed of wastage in the mind and intellect of those who are contented will not be fast. They will be constantly gentle and humble. Because of being humble, they will give everyone the coolness of the shade of happiness and contentment. No matter how much they are burning like a fire, or how hot someone's temper may be, they will become cool under the vibrations of happiness. What is the weakness that comes up? Generally, you move along very well. On your own, you move along very well. But when you get into relationships and connections with others, then by seeing, hearing, and speaking of the weaknesses of others, you come under their influence. You then say, "This one did this, and that is why I also did it. This one said this, and so I also said this. That one said this 50 times, but I only said it once." Then you put very sweet words in front of the father. You say, "Baba, at least you should understand a little. To what extent am I going to have I tolerate all of that? We are still effort makers, and so we will feel a little, will we not?" You begin to explain to the father in this way. You tell many stories to those who are instruments here. It was like this, it was like that. You turn the rosary off. It was like this. Bab Dada constantly giving the signal that you have to speak of such things briefly in just a few words and not give long explanations. Wasteful things are very spicy. They are very entertaining, just as in food too. You like sweet and sour food very much. However, if it is bland, if it is simple, you say, "We eat this all the time anyway." So while moving along, your interest is listening, speaking, and doing wasteful things, and wasteful thoughts increases. And you then think, "I did not want to, but they wanted to tell to me, so I said, okay, let me listen to them," so that their hearts become empty of it. The one's heart became empty, but you filled your heart. By repeatedly filling your heart a little, you create a sanskar. Then, when you have the sanskar, you don't even realize that it is wrong. This wasteful sanskar finishes the judgment power of your intellect. Therefore, the easiest way to remain constantly content is constantly to keep one special attainment or other in front of you, because you never forget any attainments. You may forget points of knowledge, but you cannot forget your attainments. What have you received from the Father? How much have you received from the Father? You like variety, do you not? You do not like the same thing all the time. So, look at your attainments. How much attainment of the treasures of this knowledge do you have? How many powers have you attained by doing yoga? How many attainments of the divine virtue do you have? How many attainments for practically maintaining that intoxication and happiness do you have? It is a long list, is it not? You were also told earlier that you have to remain content by keeping the attainment of any one of the virtue in front of you. This is because when you adopt even one virtue, it is just like how the vices have a very deep relationship with one another. Externally, when you have anger, then along with anger, if you check internally, there would also be greed and arrogance within yourself. They are all one another's companion. Some have emerged and some are merged. So too, the virtues have a connection with one another. You might keep one virtue in an emerged form, but other virtues will also be merged within that. So every day, definitely experience being an embodiment of one attainment or another. When you have the attainment in an emerged form, the lack of attainment will finish and you will remain constantly contented. In fact, in the world as well. What is the main attainment that everyone wants? Everyone desires to attain a good name for himself, regard, honor. They want to attain name, regard, and honor. What do you wish for? You also want this, do you not? Not of anything limited, but of the unlimited. People of the world chase a limited name. However, look at your own name. Does anyone else in the world have such an elevated name as yours? So, look at your own name. The main speciality of your name is who is chanting your name? God Himself is chanting your name. So, what could be a greater name than this? Even now, in your last birth, many souls are creating their livelihood with your name. You are Brahmins, are you not? So, even the name Brahmins, those who are Brahmins in name, are also earning so much even today. Even now, those who are only Brahmins in name are considered to be so elevated. There is so much praise for your name. Your name has become so elevated, and this is why you must not chase after any limited name. No one ever mentions my name for anything. My name is always last. I am the one who does all the service, and the names of others are mentioned. So do not chase after a limited name. Your name is constantly elevated in Baba's heart. Since your name is in the Father's heart, what does it matter if your name is not mentioned in any service or any program or anything? It is in the Father's heart. On the path of devotion, they show an image of Hanuman. Whom did he have in his heart? He had Rama. However, what is in the Father's heart? The children. So, are you the children or not? All of you are included? All of you are included. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Are you sure? What if it is sometimes missed out? The names of all of you are mentioned. So why do you chase after other names? Because for the majority, it is name, regard, or honor that makes you fall. And it is also the same thing that increases your intoxication. So look at it in terms of attainment. If, for instance, your name is incognito, For instance, your name is incognito for some reason, but you think that your name should be glorified. It is right that your name should be glorified, but because of some karmic account or sanskars of another soul, your name is not glorified. You may be right and other person wrong, and yet the other person's name is still glorified, whereas yours is not. Then your name is fixed in the rosary of victory. Therefore, do not be concerned about that. Maya comes in this form a lot more. Therefore, now even if your name is missed out by mistake, it does not matter because your name cannot be missed from the rosary of victory. First will be your name. So remember the praise of your name, that your name is in the Father's heart, and in the rosary of victory, that your name is doing service till the end. How much regard do you receive? Even God has kept you ahead of Himself. Children first. So the Father Himself has given you so much regard. You have received so much regard, and the proof of that is that even your non-living images are praised so much even in this last birth. Knowingly or unknowingly, people look at the images of the deities with so much regard. Even now, they have the most elevated regard for your images. This is your proof. Since your images are so worthy of regard and worthy of worship, the one you give regard to is also considered to be worthy of worship. They always say, "This one is worthy to be worshipped by us." One who is worthy of worship. So your practical proof is that people have so much regard for your images, and it is because of this regard for your living forms that they give it to your images. If your living forms did not receive regard, how could the images receive it? The Father always says, "Children first." The children are doubly worshipped, whereas the Father is worshipped in only a single way. Therefore, your regard is greater than the regard for the Father. So, you have received such elevated regard. Whenever any limited aspect of regard arises, then think, what would regard for such souls do? When I received regard from the Supreme Soul, do not think, I do so much and still no one gives me regard or asks me about anything. It is wasteful to think in that way. Anything limited that you chase after is like a shadow. Whenever you try to catch hold of a shadow, are you able to catch it, or does it run further away? Limited name and regard are like shadows. They are visible under the sun of Maya, but they are in fact nothing. So you have received name, you have received regard, and look how much honor is given to you. Remember how much honor you have received, and who has made you sit so honorably? The Father. You are seated on the heart throne of the Father. The greatest honor of all is the ruling status. So you have received a throne and a crown, have you not? You are seated on the heart throne of the Supreme Soul. And so what could be a greater honor? Sometimes you make a small mistake when making a decision. Real honor, spiritual honor would never allow you to feel insulted. It would not give you any kind of feeling of insult, but what do you think? What do you sometimes do? Actually, it is arrogance, but you think that you have to maintain your honor, that you have to maintain that much honor at least. It is good to maintain your honor, but check very well whether it is your honor or arrogance. Sometimes you consider your arrogance to be your honor, but you are not then able to be humble. The sign of arrogance is that you might consider your honor to be real, whereas others consider it to be arrogance. And so, whenever someone says something, you would feel insulted. Those who have arrogance will very quickly feel an insult. Even when someone says something jokingly, they will feel insulted. This is a sign of arrogance. They would think, no, I'm not like that. They should not say that. So make an accurate decision. At that time, you create a weakness in making the right decision. Instead of it being accurate, it becomes mixed, and yet you consider it to be accurate. Generally, it is said, this one is very good, but this way of speaking, sitting, walking, etc. seems very arrogant. Even when someone says this, there is a feeling of being insulted. So, also check the difference between self respect and arrogance. Therefore, constantly keep this immersed. How great your self respect and honor are. Constantly keep this unlimited name, regard, and honor emerged. Do not let it become merged, but keep it emerged. There is sometimes carelessness about having remembrance. I belong to the Father anyway, so I don't need to remember Him. However, when the thought is immersed, you are able to experience attainment. In the same way, remain alert in every aspect of dharana. Do not be careless because time is coming close. And what notice is the time giving you. Do not be careless because time is coming close, and what notice is the time giving you to become equal and become perfect. To become equal and become perfect. Therefore, look at the challenge of time and become full with all attainments. Acha. To the souls in all four directions who are constant embodiments of all attainments, to the elevated souls who constantly remain content and satisfied, to the close souls who constantly experience themselves to have a right to the elevated name, regard, and honor, to the satisfied souls who give everyone the light and might of vibrations of contentment, Bab Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. Blessing. May you be an embodiment of remembrance and power, and experience yourself to be full at every second and constantly safe. Constantly keep yourself full with the treasures you have received from Bab Dada at the confluence age. Because you are full, nothing else can enter you. You cannot say that you do not have any power of tolerance or power of silence, that you have a little anger or forcefulness. An enemy is forceful when you are careless or you haven't applied a double lock. Apply the double lock of remembrance on service. Become an embodiment of remembrance, and you will be powerful and stay constantly safe. Slogan: in order to construct the new world, make your stage humble and constructive. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you.